Alpha now. Okay, let's check out this video by Samdoesart. It says 10 art myths that need to die. Why don't we check it out and see what art myths needs to die?
What up, homies? Today we're going to be talking about 10 art myths that need to die. These are going to be some very common misconceptions that either I myself have believed in at one point or I just see a lot of newcomers to the art community carry with them. Myth number one is, to be a good artist, you just have to draw a lot. I was told this many times when I was younger and it can be very misleading. Now I can guarantee you guys that all the artists that you look up to right now didn't get to where they are by just drawing a lot. Instead, they were very smart about setting goals and targets. Now, just as an example, let's say you're somebody who wants to get better at drawing characters. You want to make them more expressive, more believable. With a goal like that in mind, instead of just practicing a bunch of random character drawings and expecting yourself to get better, a smart artist would start working backwards from that goal and find specific things that they need to learn. For example, facial anatomy, body anatomy, expressions, poses, shape language, and now all of a sudden you've got 5 topics that you can work on over the next year that's going to directly contribute to your goal of becoming a better character artist. So don't just work hard, you also got to work smart. And
yeah, my thoughts on this is, you can be drawing nonsense for 10 years. You can actually be drawing nonsense. Actually know, okay, I want to learn how to draw arms. And you can focus a week on drawing arms. You can also learn how to draw heads. You can dedicate a week to learn how to draw heads. The perfect practice makes perfect. But it's only when you perfectly.
Speaking of improving as an artist, that brings us to myth number 2, which is you have to be talented to be a good artist. Oh, hell no. Now, from my perspective, talent equals how fast you can learn a certain subject. And people are talented in different things. Some people are talented in music, some people are talented in coding, but all that...
What I think is that the talent is in the interests. The fact that, okay, I naturally or God-givenly have more interest to draw than the other guy. I strongly believe there is still something that should be built upon and not just heavily reliant on, innate ability to draw.
But all that means is that they're just naturally able to pick up that subject easier and absorb it faster. So while it is a factor, it in no way, shape, or form guarantees success. 10 times out of 10, somebody who works hard, works smart, and is consistent is going to surpass someone who has natural talent but no work ethic. Number 4 is art is just a hobby and it cannot be a career. This is just plain wrong, but unfortunately a lot of people still believe this. After starting this YouTube channel and just being part of the art community in general, I've met a lot of other artists and made a lot of friends. And it's helped me realize just how wildly different and flexible your careers can be in this field. For example, I know people who just stay in their house 24/7 and make content like me. I know people who do conventions full-time for 6 months of the year and the next 6 months they have off. If you want to be a little edgy and cool, you can even become a tattoo artist. And I also know people who do commissions or just sell small things on the side part-time.
Art is a job, oh. It's a job, oh. They are animators, they are illustrators, they are prop designers, they are character designers, they are environmental artists. It's a job, oh. Take them to play.
And just like with every other hobby, there's nothing wrong with not trying to monetize something that you love. And speaking of monetization, that actually brings us into our 5th myth. And that is, if you do choose it as a career, you're not going to make money. You're going to be broke. Now, I do kind of understand where people are coming from with that because from my perspective, I think art is a very high risk career. What I mean is this is not like becoming an engineer or a tradesperson. You don't just go and get your education, get your certifications, and then you can start a job. And with careers like those, you expect a pretty stable income. At the end of the day, like I listed in the previous myth, you absolutely can make money with your art. And there's so many different ways to do it.
How many of you know God Unakpan? How many of you know God Unakpan? If you know how much he charges for just sketches, you won't be believing the myth of if you go into art, you'd be broke. If you know how much this guy charges for just sketches, you just be good. You just be good, okay? Just be good. Imagine working for studios like Blizzard. They come to play.
6 is, if you need references to be able to draw, you're not a real artist, bro. I think we're all aware of how valuable and necessary references are, but most people who say this probably just aren't that familiar with art and don't really know what an artist actually does. Look,
if you're on the table that using references cheating,
Look, all you gotta do is look at the old masters from the Renaissance, the sculptures, the frescoes. You think they made all that with no references? Bro, they were so hardcore about their references, they took dead people and dissected them. So the next time somebody tries to tell you that you're not a real artist for using a reference on Pinterest, dissect them. Myth number 7 is you need professional, expensive equipment to be an artist. No, you don't. Now,
no, you don't. You don't need expensive equipment to be an artist. You don't. You don't. With just a pen and paper, you're set. Come on, guys. Come on.
I do a lot of drawing on this crazy tablet, but believe it or not, one of my favorite ways to draw is with pencil on paper. It doesn't get simpler than that, and the beauty is in the simplicity of that medium. You can get a pencil and some regular old printer paper for less than $1. You don't need to spend big money to make good art. Myth number 8 is you need formal education to be an artist. There's so many resources online now, so many professional artists who have actually made it in the industry who are willing to teach and share their knowledge. And if you're someone who's very driven, you're very self-disciplined, then you don't need to be formally educated in the school system in order to be an artist. At the end of the day, when you're applying to a job, when you're posting on social media, all that matters is the quality of your work.
But also, at the end of the day, when companies want to hire you, what they care about is your portfolio. How good is the quality of your work? Can you actually get the job done? Right, that's exactly what they're looking for. They don't care if you have a master's degree in psychology or whatever. Right, even if you go to art school, but then your portfolio isn't strong enough, someone who did not go to art school can still just get the role while you stay in your mom's. So I'm going to be stopping here for the video. If you want to watch the full thing, head over to Samdoesart YouTube channel and watch the full thing there. Thank you guys for coming on again this week, and I will catch you next time. You know the word. Blue is the hue. Blues the hue. Blues the hue. I'm saying it till it catches on.